Thank you so much, guys, for the support that you've given unto us. This is GSMA TV with me, Duncan Kyoko, and today we are so much privileged to speak with one guy from this community center, Smile Community Center, where they do wonders, great things here. They are going to tell us, anaenda kutuambia mali hako, mali wako, and what they do, what exactly they purpose in doing. So, guys, thank you, and I wish that you stay and watch this program now till the end. Hi, niaje baba?
Poa sana.
What is your name? Maybe you share with us.
My name is Peter Wafula. I'm one of the staff here at Smile Community Center, which is located in the eastlands of Nairobi, here in Soweto, Stepa. Here we do a lot of charity projects, community projects, and also we rescue children coming from various challenges. For example, domestic violence, and others are completely displaced or orphaned, and we rescue them. Yeah.
So when you mean rescue, what exactly do you mean?
We mean that we provide for them a safe haven for them to be in a very comfortable environment to live a good life that is away from the external factors, for example, domestic abuse, or maybe being destitute in the streets. And most of them, they come here through the police station and also the office of the chief of Soweto, where we also do some background check to make sure that they deserve the rescue. And also we try our best to work with the office of the chief and also the social workers to try to identify how we can also integrate them if it is safe to do so, because sometimes not everyone can be rescued on a long-term basis. Others is just a temporal. For example, like right now we have a child whose father was arrested and is in prison. So we have rescued that child until the father is out.
What about the mother?
Yeah, the mother, it's a lot of like domestic issues which we don't have full control of it. We are interested in the child. So the child is safe until the father is out of prison. Yeah.
So when police outside there get a child and they want this child to get some help, how exactly do you know this child needs help? How do you know?
First of all, the fact that that child has been brought to the police, it means it's a serious issue. It is very rare to find a child where a case has been forwarded to the police. So the first thing we do is we make sure that we have the OB, because the OB has the information of the issue at hand. And also we also have we talk with the one handling the case, and also just to make sure that the information that is in the OB is relevant to how we have already analyzed and come to a decision that we need to rescue this child. And we are also given a letter to confirm that we can rescue this child, so that they are safe from whatever challenge that they were facing. Yeah.
So a person may ask, why Soweto?
Yeah.
Why Soweto?
Actually, the center started in Sabasaba initially, but after going around for some time, the founder of this home, who is Margaret, the founder, we were looking for space, and this was the ideal place for rescuing the children. And we thought, because most of the cases are centered around this informal settlement of Soweto and Kayole, we thought it's a strategic place and very convenient for us to do this work. Yeah.
So how long have you been in this ministry? How long?
Actually, informally, the work started in 2009, but formally, in terms of following all the things that are needed, in 2016 is when we were allowed now to run these community projects. And since then, we say that we are very proud of the support that we have been given from people like you and members of the community and the office of the chief and the police.
Yes.
So we are very grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a sponsor who is doing this? Maybe a person who is not seasonal, but a person who is permanent sponsoring you?
Currently, we don't have. We are working on that, but right now we have an NGO called Lift the Children. They are our first permanent sponsor.
Yes.
They usually chip in terms of the needs of the children. That is a committed support, but it is not like sufficient to cover everything. That's why people like you come in to come and see where you can support, especially education. It's very expensive, and our goal is for these children to go to school. They can't stay here. So education needs money, and we get that also through people like you who come and chip in. Some just go to the school and pay the fees. Others just come here and see where they can also chip in.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are looking for more long-term support, like for example, Lift the Children who have come on board to support this project, and they came here and saw the need and they committed themselves. So we are calling upon all the goodwill people all over the world to come here and see what we are doing and also see where they can support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you share to us. You see, we have different ages.
Yeah.
In children.
Yeah.
So what age do you have around?
Currently, we have from 2 years to 18 years, and we are getting a lot of requests to rescue more children, but now we don't have enough space and resources, as we need a very hygienic environment and also resources.
Yes.
Like right now we have about 33 children who are supposed to be rescued, and we have not got like good resources to give more support. But what we are doing, because we are in an association of other similar charities, like we are in the Association of Children's Homes in Kenya, so we usually link with other directors or founders of those homes and see where we can integrate such cases so that at least we can hold their hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know we have boys and girls. How do you make sure that you protect mostly the girl child? Because you know that that's a very vulnerable person. How do you make sure that you protect the girl child?
Yeah, the girl child, you are right. The girl child is a very important, like a very important member of the society, and also even the boy child. Out of experience,
very
out of experience, we have realized that even the boy children are at risk. But also the girl child, what we do here, number one, we have a mentorship, and it is run by people like you, just well-wishers who come and mentor them. They talk to them about various stages of life and how to deal with them. And also they usually have, we have spiritual guidance here. Every day we have trained our children to know how to conduct their services, and also we talk to them, we preach to them about their spirituality, and also we invite other people like professionals to come and talk to them about the future and where they are going. But for girl children, we also make sure that they have their essential needs, like for example sanitary. Like even you guys, you have supported us with that, as we can see now. and we are very grateful for that. We make sure they don't lack that because it's a very sensitive issue. And also even in this community we have other girls who come here who ask for the sanitary.
From the community?
Yeah, from the surrounding area here. So if we have, sometimes we don't have, honestly, but if we have, we share with them.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are very grateful for that.
So you've said the age is between
Yeah, from 2 to 18, but also we have others who we have already started integrating in the community. Like we have ones who completed secondary and they qualified to go to university, and through the well-wishers like you, they got the support to go to university. But now you cannot just tell a child like, now you are an adult, go. No.
You must.
So we have an exit strategy in place. What we do, we usually give them like 1 year of free support in terms of rent, transport, and all that. Not far away from this home, we rent for them a house. And then from there, they know that I have 1 year to put a little bit of more effort. And like for them, we gave them like 1 year, but now in 6 months they are back to us and they have told us now we are stable because they are doing other small jobs, online jobs, and also some teaching, mostly teaching, so they can sustain their so for them, they had a meeting with us and they told us now you can release us. And now we are very confident because we have seen they are capable to stay by themselves. And sometimes they come here, even when COVID started, when schools closed, they came here. One is in the UON, he came here in Kenya, the former Kenya Poly. He usually comes here, he does industrial chemistry.
Technical University.
Technical University of Kenya. So he usually comes here and they were teaching for free. We do not tell them like you have to do it, but they know where they have come from.
And those ones are just from this center?
Yeah, we started from them. They were the first teens that were rescued in 2009. So for them, it's like, but that is not our goal, like to tell you like when you get out of here you are supposed to help. It is optional. Our goal is for you to have a good life out of here. That is our goal. Go to school, build your own life. But if you have that heart inside your heart that you want to support your community, we are always open to that.
Thank you. Now as we come to the end, I want just to ask maybe a technical question. Have you ever faced a rebellion issue, and how did you deal with it?
We faced a certain issue that you find that a child, right now we are in Kenya, we are working on integration of children to the community, and that is something that we are supposed to implement all over. Rwanda have already done that. They don't have children homes. And so right now we are in that part as Kenya to focus more on family-based care. Out of research that has been done, a child is safer to grow with an adult daily. Like right now, as you can see in this institution, yes, we are giving them all the support, but that one-on-one daily support is a challenge because you can see we are not so many staff. So we are complying with the government requirements to make sure that we make sure that the children can also integrate back to the community. So if we happen to know any relative that you have, and that relative was not out of any case that brought you, then if you can go maybe for like right now when schools are closing, you can go and then come. Now the challenge is you find that there was a case that you find that a child went and when they went back to the community, when they came back, it was like they had developed that like pregnancy. Yeah, you know, you can determine like if the child what happened that. But for us, before a child goes, if we have determined that we can start familiarizing them with their people, we have to test them. And we had the record that they left on this date, and when they left, they were this negative. So we had all that information. So when the issue came about, we were able to handle because we had the record. The child left on this date, and this is the person that and was negative. So out of that, we managed to navigate through that because it's a very difficult challenge. And also when you look at the data, when COVID started, teenage pregnancy went high. Do you know that? So
it's in records.
Yeah, it's in records. So that is something that we are always careful, and we make sure that we have procedures in place. You know, when you have some procedures in place, it's very easy to handle that issue. But if you don't have any procedures, they can say maybe that the child got it here. You see?
True.
Yeah, so that is something that we have learned to deal with, and also we thank the support that we've been getting from the children work officers, community workers. All those trainings that we've been doing here in the community, they have really helped us. Like even the Lift the Children organization also trains us on how to deal with such issues.
Sawa. You've said there are people who are well-wishers. Just as we finish, just one word to them, and also you encourage more to come and put a support.
Yeah, I would like to say that this work of charity is the best work that you can do, because after getting everything that you have in life, even the life that you live now, you have to ask yourself, when you go, what will you have done?
Yes.
And that is why we do this work. We don't do it that we are millionaires. No, we are not billionaires or millionaires. No, we do it because we find a lot of gratitude in what we are doing, and we want to share that message of hope that if we imagine if all of us, people like you, we had so many of you in the world doing this, we would not be having all these problems that we have. So I just want to call upon anyone sitting there to support this kind of work. Not only Smile Community Center, even in your local community, there is always something you can do. From mentorship, not only material things. Like for example, here there were some teens that came here in Smile Community Center like about 6 years ago, and they talked to children. They were from the University of Nairobi, and they said they are from university. And the boys that I've told you that are in university right now, they told us that I have seen people from the university, I want to go there. Now I want to work hard. Yeah, imagine, that is also a way of motivation, and to make it real, they really put a lot of effort, and they went to university, and they did not go to big schools. It's just here in Soweto, but they passed and they went to university because someone gave their time, their knowledge, their experience, shared with them, and now you see the outcome. So I would like to call upon everyone out there to do something for their community. And if you are free, also support this work like you guys, what you are doing right now. If more people also, like you have come here in the community, if more people recognize also your work, you will bring them here, right? So I call upon people all over to support charity, and it is, you have seen it all over. Many, even billionaires of this world,
They do
they do charity. Yeah. So it's a way to positively contribute to your nation, not only like your community, it's your entire nation.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are very humbled,
Yes.
and we are very thankful for that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank
This is Giseme TV.
Thank you.
Yes, Giseme TV. Make sure that you subscribe, and God bless you.
Subscribe and click that notification button.
Yes.
Yes.
Giseme TV.
Yeah, Giseme TV.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Giseme TV. You are with me, Duncan Kioko. You've heard from our brother. Make sure that if you have something, any little thing that you have, make sure that you put a smile to a kid. And mostly this festive season. May the Lord bless you so much. May the Lord guide you. May the Lord uplift you and give you the things that you've been praying from Him. But I say, as you celebrate Christmas, make sure that you celebrate with a person. I usually say there is no one who is limited in blessing somebody. That 100 shillings is more important to another person. God bless you so much. This is Giseme TV with me, Duncan